This is not a forgiveness video, but I still would like to distinguish certain points which are so confusable. I read this it's from the book from Fred Luskin, Forgive for Good. You can get this book. I mean, this is really worth it. He's really great. But I did I pulled out a couple of things for my understanding and for my method. What is forgiveness? If you want to forgive a narcissistic mother, a cruel family member, a cruel and narcissistic other family member, if you want to forgive, first of all, you don't have to forgive. I'm not urging you to forgive right now, first of all things. I always say, remember that. First, you need to understand the damage which was done. And then you need to propose yourself wanting to forgive. And for that, you need some good reasons, right? We don't forgive for free. It's like being humiliated and like putting ourselves, like ducking down one more time and saying, oh, well, I will forgive you now. I get you. I completely get you, But this is not how things are. Forgiveness is to heal yourself. Let's do it the other way around, because all you anti-forgivers, you're already with your swords out there. And I get it, don't you think? What is forgiveness? What is not forgiveness? What is forgiveness not? It's not to accept cruelty. It's clear. It's not to forget that something hurtful happened. That's not forgiveness. And it is not to stop feeling. It is not to stop feeling what happened, though you will let go of it once you do forgive. It's not to deny or de-estimate or minimize the pain. Okay? You can still feel the pain. You can still be there and in there. You can, dwell in this pain if you want to. But if you want to heal, you better let it go. At some point, when you're ready. I don't urge it. It's not to excuse bad behavior. It does not imply, this is an important one, it does not imply the reconciliation with the person who offended you. It has nothing to do with the other person. If you get that here, you will get that forgiving is for you, is for me. Yeah? And it doesn't have to be, also important for many people, a supernatural thing or a religious experience. So these are the main points I've written out, I summarized for myself what forgiveness is not, what Fred Luskin says in his book, Forgive for Good. So there's so many aspects on there. I know your experience of pain and of seems like voluntarily inflicted pain. Yeah, the decision, and you're right on that. The decision of this person, be it a narcissistic mother, be it a narcissistic dad, be it narcissistic siblings, be it wherever you lived cruelty in your life, including in your workspace, in, where you're out there with peers, where you're, I don't know, where you're at in your organizations, where you're at, and where you're going for sports activities, and so on. You can dwell on the pain if you want to, but it doesn't get you anywhere more than reliving this experience. This is like a really chemical thing. when we start to remind us on painful things, we start to remember, our body chemistry remembers, break it down to bitterness. And you know what bitterness does to our body. All right? So there's no reason, understand this, there's no reason to keep on riding on all those hurtful things which have happened. You do it because you feel having been victimized. I get it. And you were. And there's people around you who still want to do this. Your narcissistic mother or father or siblings still want you to be in the spot of the victim. I talked about these dynamics earlier. They need to, this is like a vampire thing. They need to draw blood from you. Don't get me wrong. It's like this. They live off of that. They get energy off of that. They feel so bad, and so guilty and so shameful and so many things and so much pain that it's really like a lower behavior, excuse me, yeah? But we have to learn to deal with these behaviors. Otherwise, we're going to stay victims. And what they want to do is get you below how they feel with themselves. They do feel with themselves like that. They don't tell you because they constantly try to get, above you, to be superior of you, be grandiose, be all kinds of things. And they're like this is like this pendular, and it just breaks out in one direction. And it can only break out in this one direction where it goes back to the other direction in a similar angle, So they're being as grandiose as they're feeling hurt, painful, guilty, resentful, shameful. But they choose. It's a chosen behavior. Just understand this. Why? Why would it be a chosen behavior? I talked about this earlier. Because they don't do it everywhere. They measure very carefully where to expose it. Okay? So they chose to be aggressive. They chose to empower themselves because they don't get no power, nothing. They're nothing, if you understand this. They get power, supposedly, according to their calculations, by submitting you. Submission. By oppressing you. By making you a victim whenever they can. And this is why this is so important, that the moment you empower yourself really, you have those plans and you put up your boundaries and that you feel it and they feel it, then they're around you or not around you. They feel that. You're like that connected because they need you there. It's like a total energy connection. Unless you cut yourself off of it. And even then, they can try. And they might note that you are coming up, that something is happening, which threatens them. It's almost like a being constantly in a survival mode. They, of course, the victim now too, If you have lived a life of victimization, you are constantly in survival mode. Or at least most of the time, or let's put it like this, you're very sensitive to trespasses, to when somebody comes to cross your boundaries, and especially the more similar it is to what you have lived back then, the more sensitive you're going to react to it, because you're, let's say, the bucket is full almost until here. So a little bit of dropping into this bucket of failing in respecting you, of minimizing you, of not taking you seriously, not letting you be there, like imposing themselves on you. You feel it right away, because then this bucket, if you haven't emptied out more of this water in this bucket, you're going to be very sensitive to this, like spilling over every once in a while. Get that? Was it helpful for you? So this entire attitude of letting myself being victimized and noticing that I am being victimized, we're getting so much water out of this bucket if we, once and for all, I say, I know it's not the way how things are, but I say once and for all. For some people it works, kind of. Say what it was, how it made us feel, what it was, what it did to us. It's really important that you get the entire picture of what it really did to you. Yeah? This is how you can assess the damage. Okay? Once you know what happened, well, now it's on you to get angry. You can't retreat. You can't say lick your wounds and say, you hurt me. No. You need to say, hold on. I noticed what you were doing and we're done. And you really have to speak up for yourself and be it energetically. You don't have to speak up loudly to those people. I know your comments. You can't do anything about those people. But this is a boundary which comes up inside of yourself. I would like to jump to the boundaries part right now. I will. First I go to what is forgiveness. What is not forgiveness is not to accept cruelty, not to forget that something hurtful happened. It's not to stop feeling. It's not to stop feeling. You stay sensitive to what's going on, especially inside of you. And the more sensitive you are, the more antenna you're going to have. And you're going to be like, this BS detector. You get that. And what is the consequence? Putting boundaries. You're like, no. Nope, not with me. Okay, be playful. It's not to deny, de-estimate, or minimize the pain, the caused pain. It's not to excuse bad behavior. You are not excusing anybody. You are getting rid of it. It's not to imply reconciliation with the offender. And it's not a supernatural and religious experience. Now we go. What is forgiveness? It's to heal yourself. Said it. It's for you. And it is not for the person who offended you. And if you get that, you would want that. I know, when you're saying out of your bitterness and out of your hurt and out of your stress feelings and out of all this pain you're guarding inside of your cells, that you're saying, I'm not going to forgive this person. How come? But if you understand what forgiving is, my dear people, you want to. Because it's for me, for you, for yourself. It's to heal yourself. It's for you and not for the person who offended you. It's to recover peace and tranquility. Tranquilidad in Español. Tranquility. And there's something really important. It's to recover physical and mental health. They did do experiments of self-reports, and I think also of reports from other people. And the people who had forgiven have tremendous benefits in a question of depression, in question of being able to manage stress, in question of psychosomatic symptoms in question of managing their anger. And there was, I think, a fifth one, which I don't have right now present, but there is measurable benefit. When you forgive, your body can feel it. Your bitterness stops, and your body can be on a, on a chemical level and on an acidity level, which is not cancerogenous, You know what I'm talking about. Forgiveness is to recover your power. Now you get that? To recover your power. It's a learning process, and this is a beautiful learning process. If you learn to switch your thinking from bitter thoughts, from negative thoughts, from despair, from darkness, from you name it, from being victimized into positive thoughts, you go right into the future. You go right into your plans, into your visions, into your living your entire self, being detached from all what is back there and what was holding you there back there. Okay? It's a learning process, and it's not only learning about switching our mind once you notice that you have negative thoughts, which will be always a tool for you to success. Whatever you want to accomplish in life, it will be always the tool for you, because once you have plans, once you have a vision, once you want to do something for yourself in life, you need to keep on thinking about that as your positive goal and work towards it. You can't be held back like, oh my God, if it doesn't happen, and oh, I'm getting anxious and I'm eating my nails up, You can be there for a moment, but this is not the way which accelerates the process. Okay? In this learning process, you become responsible. Listen to this. This is really, really crucial. You become responsible for the feelings you have. You felt responsible for their feelings. It's over with, game over. You're no longer going to be responsible for their feelings. Remember that. You always wanted to fix them. You always wanted to earn their love. From now on, you are the only one responsible for your feelings. Check that out. This means you're going to be the self-regulator of your feelings, and this has much to do with your thought processes and with negative thinking and with despair thinking, with a depressive thought, with a toxic thought, with a negative thought. And next, when you start managing your head, your emotions, your feelings, right? You start turning from victim to hero. It's the turning point automatically. You start thinking about the future. You let go of your baggage. You control what you're thinking. You also assess what was going on and getting clarity into who was the victimizer and who was the victim. You get all the dynamics clear. You learn to set boundaries. You learn to, put up your inner boundaries. And you start to have a vision for your life. You no longer live for those persons. You're done. You start living for yourself then, And that's why it is, last point, what is forgiveness? And a lifestyle alternative. It's a lifestyle. We need to forgive every day. Every day somebody can come up and can offend us and can say things to us that we think, are unkind. But you can't hold other people constantly responsible for what they are saying and what you feel about it. You can ask, you can put boundaries, you can reflect, them what they were saying and how it felt to you, but there's no need to, to put this on and to create a new resentment story and to get bitter again and having to forgive again. So this is why we forgive every day. And the better you get at that, with especially your main characters, the easier you are in forgiving. You're like, oh, let's go. Oh, you want to put this bag on me, even if somebody intentionally comes to hurt you, or you feel that, the negative energy or something like this. You just let go. You're like, this ain't my stuff. I'm not going to take that personal. You want to do that? Okay, that's so interesting. Okay. I wanted to talk about boundaries. Boundaries with a difficult person, and difficult people. Let's talk about it, right? My boundaries and how I am able to set them are only as convincing to the other person as I can feel them being convincing. I don't know if you understand that. Your boundaries are your boundaries. So somebody comes up with a real weird idea and you notice this idea and you get right away into a different body position, into a different inner state, and you're like, oh, hold on, there's BS around, and you put boundaries, and it's inside of you. And the more you understand those dynamics, the better you're going to be able to set boundaries, also to really difficult people, You learn this. The more you start, now we're getting into it, the more you start loving yourself. The more you start trusting yourself. The more you're confident in yourself. The more you take yourself seriously. The more you're there for you, you show up for you as your defender. And there I'm coming to the healing bonus. I thought that was really beautiful. I don't know where I get that from. I think I had a picture. Imagine, healing bonus. Imagine yourself as a small baby. I had this picture. I don't know how I got that from at some point in these days. Imagine like a baby. And this narcissistic mother or this family dynamics, they have this baby. If you want to make it bigger for your convenience, you can do this. The way the image works for you. And you see this baby, I saw it naked and I saw it bold actually, though it was already a little bit bigger. It was almost like these Jesus babies when they're painted by those Baroque painters, because it's all like thick and buffy. And you rip it out of her hands and you take it with you. And you no longer allow her or the person or the dynamics, if there are more people, to touch it. Do a visualization of this baby being you. And you now rip this baby. It's not hurtful, you just take it, but it's like dynamically, like the boundaries, it's like for me it's ripping. Though when I saw it, it was a very swift process. It was just a very strong dynamic, getting this baby out of those hands and influences of those people, and now you're in charge. of being there for it, consoling it, making it trust in you, telling him or her that you're going to take care of him or her, that you're not the one to direct where this baby or this little girl or boy will have to go through to be able to talk to them or to remember them, that you're going to be basically the filter for the baby. You're not the mom or the dad for this baby, and you're going to get in charge now of whatever interaction is going to happen between you and then this baby, the child, excuse me, and the dynamics, whoever wants to hurt it. And to keep doing this. There can be coming up situations where you will have to do this. In reality, where you get back into those fears, into your abandonment, into your anxiety, into your stress. Again, take this baby, do the visualization. Maybe once is enough, but then you hold this baby and you stay in contact with this baby and you understand what it needs. You're going to be now the mother and the father, and you're just going to hold this baby and take care of this baby and ask this baby what it needs and tell this baby you're going to take care of him and make this baby understand that it can trust you now. It is basically your own trust in yourself. I thought that was beautiful. I don't know if it works for you. Then I read something really nice the other day. Only bad things happen automatically. The good things you'll have to create. What a beautiful thing to end this video with. Do the ritual, understand your boundaries. If you can't manage a person, if a person is still there who victimizes you, surely hold your kid and see what it needs. But also understand that this is your boundaries. These are my boundaries. When people respect me, it's because they understand my boundaries. Okay? I'm not open, I'm not serve yourself, hit me, get me down, and you start working with this positive mental state where you start creating, where you basically have a self-understanding of people will respect you because you respect yourself and you're living your life. All right? So forgiving is not to humiliate the humiliated. Did you get that part? It was nice to be with you. If you would like to, you can subscribe to grow this channel, to bring this to the world. There's so much healing necessary. If you want to contact, you're welcome to contact. And check out the other videos which are coming up right here, left and right. There's much stuff going on. It's nice to be here with you. And I talk to you soon. Bye.